Hey PCWorld fans, Adam here with the RIG 700 Pro HX and the RIG 500 Pro HX Gen 2. Now, the RIG gaming headphone brand has been around for a long time, but believe it or not, I've never tried out any of their cans. Now owned by Nacon, I was sent over these two headphones recently, and in this video I want to share my thoughts after using them for some time. Let's get this review started. So the RIG Pro 700 HX retails for about $120 US, and the RIG 500 Pro HX Gen 2 comes in at about $70. And while there are some similarities in the look and sound performance of these devices, there is plenty that sets them apart. Let's start off by going over some specs and doing a bit of compare and contrast, shall we? But just to make it clear here at the beginning, while these cans are aimed at Xbox gamers, I use them on the PC, so that is where I'm going to focus my attention. The 500 Pro HX Gen 2 are wired headphones with a metal band and 50mm drivers. The kink-resistant cable clocks in at 1.3 meters, which is a little over 4 feet, and has inline volume control. The 700 Pro HX, on the other hand, are wireless headphones with a flexible and durable frame that Nacon claims is unbreakable. Inside are 40mm drivers, a battery that lasts 12-ish hours, and it uses a dedicated 2.4 GHz wireless signal. All of the controls are on the back side of the left ear cup, which is also where the micro USB port is for charging. Both of them have a combination of materials on the ear cups, a self-adjusting top strap, and further size adjustments provided by moving these pegs into one of 3 holes. Both also have detachable mics, but the 500 Pro HX Gen 2s feature an arm that can be flipped up to mute, while the 700 Pro HX is just a simple plug-in design. In both cases, you get a license for Dolby Atmos included, which seems to be all the rage these days. But enough about specs, you want to know how they perform. Well, let me start by saying that both pairs are some of the most comfortable headsets I have ever worn. I am not kidding, I had almost no problems with wearing either of these cans for extended periods of time, so major kudos to the RIG team for that. The 700 Pro HX was even more comfortable thanks to larger ear cups and the plastic frame, but we're not talking about a huge difference here. During my briefing with Nacon, they talked about the dual material design of the ear cups, which allows for the best of both worlds. The edge leatherette style material is better at blocking noise, while the part of the cup that rests against your head is a nice soft fabric that is more breathable. Now, I completely agree with this claim, and I wish that more manufacturers tried such a design. The cups were also large enough to not rest on my lobes and had enough padding so that my ears didn't touch the inside. The top strap felt really good against my head and offered just the right balance of resistance to let them float without too much pressure. I had trouble with the similar system on the HyperX Cloud Revolver when that came out, as it just didn't provide enough resistance and the headphones would sit lower on my head as a result. All in all, I can't say enough nice things about how well these headphones felt. Unfortunately, when it comes to the sound coming out of these headphones, that's another story. Now, neither set sounds bad, they are just tuned with a specific profile that doesn't favor accuracy, kind of like Bose. Do you want accuracy in a pair of gaming headphones? I suppose some don't, but I'd rather start with accuracy personally and use tools like EQ to tailor it to my tastes. In the case of both these cans, they're very much tuned with a scooped EQ, meaning a pumped up low end, cut mids, and sharp highs. Once again, this doesn't sound bad per se, it's actually a very common approach. It's a specific sound profile that tends to make things sound more full of life when they aren't always supposed to be. Between the two, the 500 Pro HX Gen 2 actually sounds better than the 700 Pro HX, the more expensive one. The tuning on the 500 Pros is less pronounced, there are more mids present, and it has a more even mix. It's still not accurate, but it's more accurate than the 700 Pro HX. Some of this is because of the size of the drivers, but I'd guess that most of it comes down to the DAC. The digital to analog converter is built in on the 700 Pros, whereas for the 500 Pros, most of my testing was done with my Creative Sound Blaster GC7, a very nice USB-based DAC. And before you say that's an unfair comparison, I will say that I did try it out with other DACs as well as motherboard audio. Did the 500 Pros sound better there? Well, it was a toss-up depending on the setup, but Without a nicer DAC, of course, it wasn't going to sound as good. Honestly, the moral of the story is that even a cheaper pair of headphones can sound better with a nicer DAC. In that respect, the 500 Pros have a higher ceiling, but a lower floor compared to the 700 Pros. So which pair of RIG headphones would I recommend? Either way, if you favor comfort above all else, both of these headphones are worth a look over competitors. I was reviewing the Corsair Virtuoso XTs at the same time, and boy do I wish that headset was as comfortable as these. But if you were just looking at these two, the 700 Pro HX is a bit more comfortable, is more durable, and boy is it convenient to have no wires. But it has a more baked-in sound profile, doesn't have the nice flip-to-mute mic, and is $50 more expensive. When it comes to the 500 Pro HX Gen 2, it has more dynamic range to work with, the ability to plug into nicer DACs, and it's not a bad price for what you're getting. But it sacrifices a bit of comfort and doesn't have a detachable cable, which is a bummer because I actually believe this cable is a little too short. Honestly, if it were my money, I'd lean towards the 500 Pro HX Gen 2, but that's because I can pair it with a higher quality DAC. But that does raise the overall price past the 700 Pro HX, so it's not a perfect trade-off. Either way, I'm super happy I was able to try out these RIG headphones and get more experience with other gaming headphone manufacturers. Well, that's it for this review video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments which pair of headphones you would pick in this scenario, or if you'd like me to try out any other headphones. Thank you everyone for watching, and be sure to subscribe to PCWorld for more PC hardware coverage.